Lord have mercy. Here we go. BTS Army. Once again, BTS. Well, I can say once again, but this is the one time I have to say that BTS fans are overreacting about a Rolling Stone article that was recently published by a writer. And I forgot the writer's name. But welcome to my channel. My name is Nomadic Kitty. I talk about K-pop. I am BTS Army. More of a level-headed one, and like to talk about business discussions and the history of K-pop. So Rolling Stone came out with an article 3 days ago about where they're ranking all of BTS's solo songs. Now, what determines whether it's a solo song or not, I'm really not quite sure, because the solo songs that were on there were truly solo songs. Some of them were covers. Some of them were songs that they did with other people. And some of the songs were songs that were off of TV shows or movies or stuff like that. So I don't know what criteria they have as solo song, because I guess that could be subjective as well. But it's solos, okay? Solo songs, not BTS as a group. So I think it's over 177 songs on this list by Rolling Stone. The Rolling Stone writer, I don't know much about this writer, but they have written articles previously before that Army has criticized, and this has caused quite a kerfluffle in BTS Army circles. So of course, I barely heard about this. I saw somebody did a YouTube post, because I'm not on social media, and I said, okay, well, let me go read the article first. Then let me go look at some of the videos and some of the things written that have been posted. And I didn't read the whole entire article because, like, again, it's 177 songs. So your girl ain't got that much time. So I did skim through the list a little bit. And then I went back and read what people were saying, what the criticisms were. So there's a lot of criticism. So I'm going to address those criticisms. First of all, the criticism was people were mad that some of the solo songs weren't solo songs. And like I said, I don't know what the criteria is for Rolling Stone. They didn't put it in the article as to what criteria they use to determine whether it's a solo song or not. So I don't know. So yes, some of the solo songs are what would fans would consider not real solo songs. Again, I'm not going to argue with that because that's subjective. Then the second criticism people had about the ranking. A lot of the number one song is Soul by RM, and RM reposted the article because of course he's going to repost it because he's got the number one solo song of BTS. Again, you can't argue about that. Again, whenever you see somebody ranking songs or groups or albums, that is their opinion. It's not your opinion. It's not my opinion. It's not going by sales or online popularity or who wrote the song. None of that is going into, it's basically the author gathering a bunch of data or not. Sometimes it's just their opinion. Rolling Stones have published many articles over the years, non-K-pop ones, of course, about them ranking groups and songs, and it's caused controversy because people was upset. I remember they did one a couple of years ago. People upset because Michael Jackson's songs wasn't on the list, and certain artists got left off. It is up to the editors and the person that write the articles. There's a whole thing, that goes into rankings whenever a musical news outlet prints these rankings. And I won't go into it, but it's a whole thing. So they look at a lot of different criteria, and sometimes they ask different writers and different people, but they're not asking the fandom. So you can get mad over that certain songs got left off or higher. It's all subjective. If I were to do a list, it would be a bunch of rap line songs, because I'm a rap line girl. So, and I'm a sugar bias. So all my bias and stuff gonna be, I'm not getting mad because looking at the list, there wasn't that many sugar songs on there, but it's subjective. Why would I care? That's the writers, and the writers of Rolling Stone, that's their own opinion. So they are entitled to rank Soul number one by RM. There's no shade. It's no shade to RM, no shade to the writer. That's what they're entitled to do. So I don't know why anybody would be mad at that, because that's what lists are. It's their list. It's not everybody's list. Because again, if you ask Army, all of us are going to disagree. None of us are going to agree. I'm not going to tell you that Soul by RM is number one. I'm not going to tell you that a Jimin song is ranked over Jungkook, because once again, I'm a rap line girl. The person who wrote the article, they may like rap music more than they like R&B or soul or pop. They may like Jin's more indie rock. I don't particularly like that. No soul to me, no shade to Jin, but that's just not my type of music. So it all depends on what type of music the person is into and what other criteria they come up with. But we're not privy to that. And Rolling Stone never do. They just release an article and then they do certain things for rage bait, and that fans pretty much fall for. Fandoms all over have fell for. So I'm not going to get my panties in a twist over this song over that song, and that song's not really a solo song. That's just their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. The third thing they said that people keep harping on is a song called Somebody that I have heard a while ago, and I went back and re-listened to the song today. And I read the comments, because every song that they've listed in a Rolling Stone article kind of has like a paragraph comment about the song. So Somebody's a song by Jungkook. It was on Golden, just in case you didn't know. And the song, they said the song was distorted. I've heard people write in comments and repost saying that somebody had auto-tune. That's what I read over and over again. I said, wait a minute. Rolling Stone author said a Jungkook song was auto-tuned. I said, well, that don't sound right. I've never known them to use auto-tune. No. In the article, the author said Somebody, the beginning was distorted. She didn't say it was auto-tuned. There's a difference between vocal distortion and auto-tune for the people who are uninitiated and don't know. It's two different things. She did not say, the author did not say Jungkook's vocals was auto-tuned. I don't know how we got there, okay? People wrote a comment somewhere or put it on a vlog and people just ran with it. She didn't say it was auto-tune. She said it was distorted. I listened to Somebody twice, 2 or 3 times today. It is distorted. You can tell, you can hear the distortion, but it's something that's used in music all the time. Korean music, K-pop, pop, wherever. Vocal distortion is used in all kinds of songs. She did not say that Jungkook couldn't sing, because people leaped to the saying, well, have you heard it live? No, she's saying on the album that in the beginning it was distortion. The author is basically saying that they didn't like, that Jungkook's vocals are good enough that they didn't have to use the vocal distortion. She did not say that Jungkook didn't sound like Jungkook. She did not say that Jungkook couldn't sing. She did not say it was auto-tuned. None of that. All she said, if you read the paragraph underneath the song and not just read the articles or vlogs or people are saying, she said that it was vocal distortion on the song Somebody, and that Jungkook's vocals didn't need the vocal distortion. That is that author's opinion, and I have to say somewhat I agree. That the vocal distortion, it's nice, it's used commonly. No one's saying that it hasn't been used for pop stars and well, they're using on other pop stars, and it wasn't said that. She was just saying on that particular song that Jungkook's vocals are good enough that the distortion effects that they used on the song, which is used to add depth to a song, is used to put a little sprinkle a little flour on the song a little bit. In that author's opinion for Rolling Stone, she didn't think that that was necessary or needed on that song, not shading Jungkook's vocals in any way. So I would tell everybody, go actually read the article and read that paragraph, because no one's saying that. No one's dissing Jungkook saying that he can't sing live or they're auto-tuning his whole album, because I've read all these things online and I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right. And it's not right. The article, the paragraph beneath the song doesn't say any of that. And so people are taking whole leaps and bounds to what was written in the paragraph. And so the other complaint that I've seen, the third complaint that I've seen mostly is about Jimin Who. Okay. So Jimin came out with a song, Who. He came out with an album, phenomenal album last year. The album has won lots of awards, done lots of things. Of course, some of y'all may know, but this is for the people who don't know. So Jimin Who is like, you know, a national treasure, I would say at this point. So armies have totally gone Delulu land, where number one, they're mad because there's a song called With You by Jimin that was like his number 1 ranked song on this list. So people were mad at that. And again, it's subjective. Like I've heard the song With You. I've heard the song Who. There are plenty of other songs by Jimin. I think that are, again, my personal favorite is Serendipity. That's my personal, favorite. It didn't rank higher. Alone by Jimin is one of my favorite BTS songs. It's in my top 10. Okay, I like Alone. Alone is like, I would say Alone is probably the eighth ranked BTS solo song of all the BTS solo songs I've heard. Alone by Jimin is my favorite. It's a very highly underranked song. If you want to talk about BTS songs, period, Love Maze is a BTS B-side that is in my top 20. So there are plenty of songs that I like solo and also by the group that wouldn't make a list because, again, to me, Alone by Jimin, if you have not heard that song, to me, that is the best Jimin song. That song was my ringtone for months and months and months. I listen to that song all the time. It hits different for me. The lyrics hit different. The meaning, the way he sings it is just, it's something to me that I find very attractive. So Who by Jimin is not one of my favorite Jimin songs. So people were upset that Who wasn't ranked higher. And then people were talking about some of the comments underneath a Jungkook song and a Jimin song. Again, I went back to the article and read it because, again, I don't take people's word for it. And they were saying that one song by Jungkook, they said, first of all, let's start with Who. They said it was overtly carnal, that the song had lyrics that they said, quote unquote, in the article, quote unquote, they said it was overtly sexual. That's what they said about Who. They mentioned a lyric in there. Now, me personally, I did not find Jimin's Who's overtly sexual at all. Okay, I listened to the song. I went back today, again, not too long ago, re-listened to the song, looked at the lyrics in Korean and lyrics in English because, I'm going to do my research. I'm not going to take people's word for it in Rolling Stone or armies or fans or bloggers. I'm going to go back and listen to myself. I've listened to Who many times. I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics. I looked at the lyrics. I read the lyrics in both languages. I don't find the song. There are certain innuendos, but they are saying the song was overtly sexual. Okay, there's a Jungkook song that they said, I forgot which song it was, but I forgot the title. But I went back, listened to it, and looked at the lyrics too. And they said the song was very carnal and sexual. And then they said something to the effect that, it's a very grown-up song, talking about grown-up things. He's a grown man. Okay, I got two things to say to this. First of all, it's not a slight to Jungkook and Jimin. Let's take the Jungkook comments about his song. The reason why this author wrote this is because in K-pop as a whole, I'm not saying BTS, I'm not saying Jungkook. BTS and Jungkook have done all kinds of songs. They have done all types of songs, adult type songs. In K-pop in general, and we can debate whether BTS or K-pop or not, because I consider BTS to be a global group. But in Korean music industry, let's say that, singing songs about adult type intimacy and stuff like that is frowned upon. It's something that doesn't happen. So this article is not just written for BTS fans, but this is written for casual fans, K-pop stans, the curious, and anybody else out there. So people reading this article, you got to understand that people don't know the history of BTS. People talking about things that go on Weverse Live. Well, Jungkook sing live on Weverse Live, and they've cussed on Weverse Live. Once again, I have to remind armies over and over again. Not everybody is on Weverse. There are casual fans of music, casual fans of BTS, casual fans of K-pop. There's BTS lovers, haters, and the uninitiated, the people who don't even know who BTS are. So when you're writing an article for the general public, which Rolling Stone is a general public type of media outlet, you're writing an article for everybody. You're not just writing it. So people don't know about BTS's full, song lists and playlists and albums and what they've said on Weverse and live streams and following them on the internet like a lot of you guys do. Even me as BTS Army, I don't follow them on social media or anything like that. Weverse, I may see their Weverse Live, but that's not my calling. That's not my ministry. That's not my thing. I don't follow BTS around on none of these social media platforms. I hear about certain things because I'm a YouTuber. That's it. So we all got our own journey to being Army. We all do Army in different ways. Or not. Like I said, there's casual fans out there. But the idea that K-pop singers they're considered infants. They coddle K-pop singers. There's K-pop, there's a lot of censorship. You can't be overtly, sexual or anything like that. So for them, when they were saying things about Jungkook's song being carnal and sensual and stuff like that, it's carnal and sensual for K-pop. When they talked about Who, which I totally agree, I don't consider it overtly sexual, even for K-pop. They are talking about overtly sexual, in my estimation, when they're talking about in vein of K-pop music. They're not talking about in comparison to Western music. I've seen people do videos saying, well, Western artists, they do. I don't think that's what the author was trying to say. And again, I don't know for sure, but me reading a lot of the articles and a lot of the things underneath the songs, I kind of get the gist that, okay, I see what they're talking about. A lot of people are talking on this subject and they have not even read the article. They've just hearing what they heard from somebody on X or Instagram, or somebody did a TikTok video, or somebody do a YouTube video. So I tell people, go and read the actual article, not what overly sensitive fans are getting upset about. Some people are accusing the author of being a Jin and an RM stan. We don't know. They might be. But again, it's Rolling Stone's article. This is not the history of BTS or BTS solo. This is not based on sales or what song is popular. This is all according to Rolling Stone and that particular author's things. And again, let me bring it up again. Saying that a song is, then I heard people talking about what they've shamed BTS and they need to apologize to Jungkook for what? First of all, they never said Jungkook couldn't sing. They never said he couldn't auto-tune. And what gets me in the crawl about the comments about songs being carnal or sensual or grown or man or sexy or overtly sexual, again, that's not a shameful thing to say a song is overtly sexual. The definition of overtly means in your face, means in plain in your face sexual. Again, I don't agree with Who was like that. I don't agree at all. But that is not something to be embarrassed or shameful about. Yeah, so what I was saying is that being a sexual person or having a song that is sexy, that is carnal, that's titillating is not bad because they are grown men. So you can't have it both ways, Army. You can't have it be like, well, we know they're grown and we know they're adults and BTS have done adult songs. Okay, if somebody point that out saying, oh, I think that song's a little titillating and sexual, that's their opinion. Again, I didn't feel like the Jungkook song or the Jimin song was carnal or anything like that, but that author may be very conservative. I don't know that author. I don't know them personally. Nobody does, okay? I don't know what they considered overtly sexual or sexy or anything like this. And again, the article is not comparing BTS to any other artists in the West or anything like that. That is the author's opinion and they're entitled to their opinion. But calling something sexual or carnal or overtly sexual, to me, in my mind, in my opinion, that's just grown people talk. That's just, if somebody comes up to me and someone is dressed very sexily, I don't be like, oh my God, they should be offended. If I be like, oh, that woman over there, she looks real sexy. She seems like a very sexy person. That's not a diss. That's not insulting someone or shaming someone. That's just not, at least not in the West. Like, that's not shaming someone. The Rolling Stone is very much a Western originated publication. This is published in Rolling Stone in America. Again, this author is a Korean author. I don't know where they're from. I don't know their background, but they're writing for Western audience. This article is written for a Western audience. Now, some people who don't know BTS, who are from the West, from America, reading this article, and they may hear a song and be like, oh, is it overtly sexual? That may make them want to discover BTS solos and go hear these songs for themselves. So again, it just all depends on how you take it. But I'm an adult. BTS are grown men. So I'm sure they all read the article, and knowing Jimin and Jungkook, they probably got a good kiki and a caw-caw out of it. They probably giggled a little bit and was like, oh my God. They may have laughed. They may have been like, ooh, they may have been like, hey, I don't know what reaction they might have had. But I can't see them in the business this long, being grown men, being offended that Rolling Stone called the lyrics of their song overtly sexy or sexual. And again, they're not calling them overtly sexual or sexy. They said the lyrics were overtly sexy and sexual. Not saying that Jungkook and Jimin are hoes. Not saying that Jungkook and Jimin were on videos or performances looking sexy or acting overtly sexual or doing something that is overtly gross or disgusting. They said the lyrics, the tone of the song, and that author's opinion was overtly sexy or sexual. There's a difference between me reading words and writing things that sound sexy or sexual than someone calling me personally overtly sexual. No one's saying Jimin and Jungkook are out here doing dirty time and doing things. They might be, but that's none of my business. But saying that the lyrics are is something completely different. Yes, your lyrics can be overtly sexual. It doesn't mean that you're going around here with your booty cheeks hanging out. I can sing a song about innuendos, but I'm wearing a t-shirt. I can be like, "Ooh, daddy, stick it here, put it here. Yeah, daddy, get it to me. Yeah, you want me to drive your car? I'll get in the back seat." It doesn't mean that I present as an overly sexual, nasty, perverted person. That's not what that means. It just means that the lyrics are. Now, if they help write these lyrics, other people from I know looked at these songs that have writing credits. So a lot of times we don't know if they wrote the particular verse. Somebody else wrote the particular verse. Somebody has suggested that verse. So again, it's nothing for me to get upset about if lyrics are considered overtly sexual by other people, because they're grown men in the music industry, global music industry. They are not little children. They are not 17, 18-year-olds singing about inappropriate stuff, which 17, 18-year-olds pretty grown. But let's just say they're not 13, 14-year-olds singing about sexy time. They are grown men. So if I have no problem with Jungkook and Jimin expressing their sexuality, expressing their longing, putting in innuendos, I don't have any issues with that from Tate McRae or Beyonce, and I don't have that problem with Stray Kids or ATs talking about In Your Fantasy. In Your Fantasy is a smutty song, and I love it. Who is a great song, and I love it. If Jungkook want to sing whatever song that Jungkook want to sing, I listen to it. If I like it, I love it. It's not a diss or a shame to say that your lyrics, some people may consider your lyrics overtly sexual. It was not said in the articles, what I read, in a negative connotation. It was just said it and then moved on. It was like this song is sexual. It's overtly sexual, it's sensual, and then they listed a line for Jimin's song, and then they moved on. It wasn't saying that it was a bad thing. The fact that K-pop singers are taking it as a bad thing means that y'all still considered sexual and sexuality as being something shameful. And if you feel that way, I don't know what to tell you, because that's really either on you or your culture. That's on you. I don't think this article did anything bad about BTS, their solo songs. It didn't shame them. And let me tell you the last thing I have to bring up a business conversation. I know some of y'all have talked about Rolling Stone is irrelevant. Like, who reads Rolling Stone anyway? Rolling Stone is still relevant within the music industry. Regardless of whether y'all read it or not or pay attention to it or not, Rolling Stone is still a heavy hitter in the musical industry, like media. Just like Forbes, just like Billboard magazine and everything else. They are still a heavy hitter. They've been around a long time. I don't see Rolling Stone going anywhere, not unless they run out of business. But they have their list, they have their groups and everything like that, and whether people agree with it or not. I may or may not agree. That's not up to me. Tone, narrative, and feelings have nothing to do with what I do on my channel. I speak facts. And the fact of the matter is that anytime Rolling Stone devotes a whole article to a band or a group or something like that, it is a flex for BTS because it brings other people in. It brings attention to their group. And to me, again, I speak in BTS in business terms. I have business conversations on my channel, sweetie. I don't have emotional conversations. I don't care who's a Jin stan or who's biased to RM or whatever. Or when BTS getting a cover like that is free publicity, it's free PR. It's putting them out in the media, and it's bringing in other people who don't necessarily listen to their music that might pay attention to this article. Just because y'all got rage bait and y'all got flame bait over this, it just speaks more about BTS's fandom than than more about BTS or more about the individual members and their solos. BTS is good. They are good. That article, to me, I was like, that's a win-win for them. That's the first thing I thought. Oh, they did a whole feature on them. My first thought was, oh, this is going to bring people in. Oh, people's going to read this and be like, well, maybe I need to check some of these songs out, especially for my dear rap line, who don't get the props that they get in the hip hop circle. So to me, again, as a BTS army who loves BTS, my looking is this going to bring prestige to BTS? Is this going to bring attention to them? Is this free PR? Yes, it is. Is this going to bring more people to check out the article? Yeah, it will. That's the way you have to look at things. If people are insulting BTS in some way, the members some way, if they're saying bad things about them or dragging their accomplishments or how they sing, or somebody saying, oh, these BTS, they horrible, their music is horrible. Okay, that's somebody's opinion, but it's not good PR wise. But to have Rolling Stone to do a whole feature article on them, to me, it's only a win-win situation in an adult grown conversation. People accusing writers of having biases or whatever, that's just ridiculous. That's utterly positively ridiculous. Unless I have some evidence of that, the person has said that, then that's just silly talk. Most people write articles, they do it with a group of people and editors. They have editors that they have to go through. I won't even get into I have a degree in journalism. They have editors, they have writers, they have other people that they have to go through to write these articles. So it's not like just one lone person writing. At Rolling Stone, no. It's usually a group effort. And then at the end, they have editors to go through, and they may come and change things. So again, this is just another situation the BTS army, to me, not staying on business. Like, let BTS have their articles. You may have your criticisms. You're entitled to your criticism about the article. But at the end of the day, BTS out in the public in a high profile article is a win-win for Bangtan all the way around.